Hello, everyone. This is Brian Nettles. It's been a little while since I've come on my channel to just talk about things, and part of the reason is because I don't really have any new artifact research reporting to do. I haven't been working lately on the Burrowstones, haven't been working on the Michigan artifacts, haven't been working on the characters document, haven't been working on any of these types of things. And in a very large sense, you could say I've been trying to figure out my role going forward with everything that's happening, and it's been a lot to take in, a lot. So, Brandon Biggs puts out a prophecy recently regarding the LDS churches, plural. Of course, sometimes he says churches, and then sometimes he's referring to the LDS church. And I will give you my opinion that Brandon Biggs is spot on. That the revival that he is talking about has already begun. His revival has everything to do with prophecies already stated in the Book of Mormon, so he's really not saying anything new. And if you're familiar with the scriptures, you will know that he's not saying anything new, particularly when you consider how Nephi and Jesus in 3rd Nephi talk about the Gentile church transitioning to the remnant of Jacob. Well, anyways, today I want to talk about the 4 events of the second coming. There are 4 events. A lot of people like to think that there's just the time when he comes in the clouds and the righteous go up to meet him, and that's the second coming. And that is actually absolutely correct, but there's more to it than that. And D&C section 45, which is actually the next chapter that you should be covering this week in Come Follow Me, if you're following Come Follow Me, talks about the 3 events. Those events being when the New Jerusalem is built, that the presence of the Lord is there in the New Jerusalem. That being event 1. Event number 2, or 3, depending on the order, which I'm not really clear on, is either he comes and saves the Jews from imminent destruction, that being event 2, or event 3, and then when he comes in the clouds and the righteous go up to meet him, that being either event 2 or 3. I'm not really sure. There's actually also a 4th event, and that's the meeting at Adamant Diamond, but that's beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. So, let's quickly go over what I'm referring to by pulling up Doctrine and Covenants section 45. Let me get it up here. Okay, D&C 45 verses 64 to 71. It begins with talking about, this is in 1831, and we have a new church, and he's talking to the new members of this church, and he's telling them that they need to buy up lands where the New Jerusalem is going to be purchased, with the expectation that they were actually going to build the New Jerusalem, which they might have actually done had the members been adequately faithful in their calling and sent the 500 people that they were required to send to redeem Zion when Zion's march took place. Well, anyways, they didn't get the 500 people. They had a much smaller amount, and that resulted in the non-redemption for a time. And the time that it will be redeemed is still a future event. So anyways, let's go to verse 66. And it shall be called the New Jerusalem, a land of peace, a city of refuge, a place of safety for the saints of the Most High God. And the glory of the Lord shall be there, and the terror of the Lord also shall be there, insomuch that the wicked will not come unto it, and it shall be called Zion. And the verses continue after that, where it basically talks about how the people in Zion will be peacemakers, but the people of Zion are not going to have to fight because Jesus is going to fight their battles for them. Second event, or the 3rd event, depending on how you read it. If you go in order of D&C 45, this is where he comes in the clouds and the righteous go up to meet him. Verse 42, and before the day of the Lord shall come, the sun shall be darkened and the moon be turned into blood, and the stars fall from heaven. Now, brothers and sisters, I will tell you that when you read the book of Revelations, these are 6 seal events. They are not 7th seal events. We have not started in the 7th seal yet. In fact, when he comes, it is still the 6th seal. And the remnant shall be gathered into this place, and then they shall look for me, and behold, I will come. And they shall see me in the clouds of heaven, clothed with power and great glory, with all the holy angels, and he that watches not for me shall be cut off. But before the arm of the Lord shall fall, an angel shall sound his trump, and the saints that have slept shall come forth to meet me in the cloud. Wherefore, if ye have slept in peace, blessed are you. For as you now behold me, and know that I am, even so shall ye come unto me, and your souls shall live, and your redemption shall be perfected, and the saints shall come forth from the 4 quarters of the earth. What a beautiful promise to have happen in the future times when Jesus Christ comes. And there's that great resurrection that takes place. Now, if we continue in D&C 45, now it talks about the saving of the Jews from imminent destruction. Then shall the arm of the Lord fall upon the nations, and then shall the Lord set his foot upon this mount, and it shall cleave in twain, and the earth shall tremble and reel to and fro, and the heavens also shall shake. Once again, these are events described in Revelations as being 6 seal events. And the Lord shall utter his voice, and all the ends of the earth shall hear it. And the nations of the earth shall mourn, and they that have laughed shall see their folly. And calamity shall cover the mocker, and the scorner shall be consumed. And they that have watched for iniquity shall be hewn down and cast into the fire. And then shall the Jews look upon me and say, What are these wounds in thy hands and in thy feet? Then shall they know that I am the Lord, for I will say unto them, These wounds are the wounds with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. I am he who was lifted up. I am Jesus that was crucified. I am the Son of God. And then shall they weep because of their iniquities, and then shall they lament because they persecuted their king. There's more on this topic if you continue if you go into the Old Testament, the book of Zechariah talks about it. I think there's one other of the small books that talks about the events that are going to lead up to Jesus saving them from imminent destruction. Well, thank you for getting through that with me. I just wanted to make certain that as I cover the second coming in future podcasts, I just want to make certain that you are aware that when I talk about the second coming, I'm not talking about when he comes in the clouds and the righteous go up to meet him. I am referring to when his presence is there in the New Jerusalem, while those in the New Jerusalem are seeking to build Zion. Okay, so now I want to take this time to let everybody know that I am still friends with Chief Midegah. I consider him a friend, and he considers me a friend. We are still working together. I also want to let you know, and this is directed towards the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who have criticized him, trying to call him a modern-day Korah and a deceiver. There is no Church of Midegah. His new religious home is the Church of Jesus Christ. And it seems to be a good church. Like I said, I'm still a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I did have the privilege of visiting one of their religious services, and I thought that it was a good service. They were basically going over Moroni chapter 7. Good lesson. I also want to bring up the prophet's address, President Nelson's address in last conference. It was funny to me. I mean, President Nelson gets up and he talks about the importance of being peacemakers and being kind on social media. And if you think that his address had nothing to do with Midegah, I think you're wrong. I think it was very much related to people's treatment towards Chief Midegah. Midegah is actively seeking to unite the tribes of both North America and Central America and South America. And he's also working with indigenous tribes throughout the world. His goal is to build Zion. I support this goal. We recently had the event in the Yucatan. It was fantastic with signs in the heavens. Chief Midegah placed the Book of Mormon on the altar next to the Tree of Life to the Mayan leaders. and gave it to them after the ceremonies were over. They received it well. And my understanding is that they are reading the book, and they also passed out the Book of Mormon to numerous people. Now, going forward, there are going to be events in Colombia, Patagonia, and Uganda. I'm hoping that sponsorships can come to several of us Zioneers, particularly those who belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because we need to have our presence known. Please be willing to sponsor us for that. I also have an open invite to visit the record keepers in Canada. I'm really hoping that me and one other person can be sponsored to spend a significant amount of time in Ottawa, Canada, being trained by the record keepers. So if you think these things are interesting to you, if you think it's meaningful to you, if it's worthwhile, I just hope that you'll consider, pray about it. And if you feel prompted, if you feel it's right, please donate to bookofmormonheartland.com so that I could go to these events myself, so that I could spend time with the record keepers myself, so that I could sponsor at least one other person and perhaps others also, and that we can have our presence known. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.